David Berlin, coming to you from CES 2012 in Las Vegas. We're on the hunt for some of the greatest and hottest products and technologies on the show floor. And one of the ones that we've stumbled upon is from a company called Rocstor. Now, if you've ever used external hard drives and you want to make sure that the data on them is secure, Rocstor might be the company you want to turn to secure that data. Standing with me is Anthony Rink. He is the Director of Sales for Rocstor. Anthony, thanks for joining me here at CES 2012.
Thanks, David.
So you're holding in your hand, it's got a keypad on it. It's like a block of aluminum. It's very heavy, by the way.
Right.
And you've got a card here. So why don't you describe what it is you're holding exactly?
Right, basically this is an external hard drive, but it's totally secure, and the way it operates is it uses a smart card and a PIN number. With the PIN number, you can actually choose your own desired number, so that makes it manufacturer independent. It also offers the interface of Firewire 800 and USB 2, and the encryption itself is AES-256 CBC, and it's FIPS Level 2 certified. Rocstor manufactures this out of Los Angeles in California, so we're actually TAA compliant and HIPAA compliant. So basically the way it works is you insert the smart card, punch in your desired PIN number, and it mounts the drive. This is also fully bootable in real time in Macintosh environment or the Windows environment.
All right, so one of the things I'm thinking about is what happens if you lose the card?
Okay, the unit ships with 3 cards, but this unit, the Amphibious, you can actually generate your own smart card. So if you're down to your last smart card, you can buy a blank smart card, insert it. From us,
okay.
And then you will actually keypad a certain code in there, and it will actually copy the card.
Okay, and then you can also decide what PIN number you want to put in here?
Yeah, you can unlimited times change the PIN number, what is actually fantastic because you're not physically attached to us as a manufacturer. So if you have a token or so, that means you're dependent on a token. In this instance, you can actually freely change your PIN number hourly, daily, as many times as you wish.
Doesn't matter. Now, how many, what's the capacity of this particular device?
This goes up to 1 terabyte.
When you say up to 1 terabyte, so there are multiple versions of this at different capacities.
Correct, i.e. price differences, starting at 320 gigabyte all the way up to 1 terabyte.
All the way up to 1 terabyte.
You can also fit solid state in here.
And this particular unit here isn't working. We're at CES, but you don't actually have one working. This is a prototype. When is this one going to be available on the market?
In about 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. So we're in January, so we're talking somewhere in the February, March timeframe of 2012.
Correct, yes.
Right. And we talked about the different levels, 320 gig up to 1 terabyte. How much does it cost?
The 320 will be starting around $300 up to $600. That's what you'd be looking at.
$600 for the terabyte version.
Yes.
All right. Now, one of the other things you showed me was I'm holding in my hand here. This is it looks like a federal ID. A little bit different than the smart card you were showing there, which is sort of just a blank, nondescript smart card. It has your brand on it. This one has all of that information that a federal employee might have hanging on their pocket or something like that.
Right.
Can I interface this with this?
Correct. This was actually developed for the US government, and basically the way it works is as well, that's why the smart card, you can actually use deployed US existing smart cards, and you insert this in use smart cards, what they use for government door access and network access. They can integrate this into this unit, punch in their desired PIN number, and it will mount.
Now you're doing that with the federal government, but if some other corporation came along and said, hey look, we use our own smart cards, will you work with them to integrate their...
Yes.
And is there an additional cost associated with that kind of customization?
Depends what it is, but there's not that many smart cards. These are PIV smart cards. There's not that many on the market, so out of the 8 what are deployed right now, we have 5 working.
Okay, so you've got most of the market nailed, and that's most of the government too. You can imagine the military really liking stuff like this, or the CIA or intelligence businesses. But there's plenty of organizations out there, especially ones that do business with the government, who, it's in order for them to actually continue to do business with the government, they have to take on certain measures to secure their data. This might be a handy one to have.
The whole concept about encryption, really, this is real time, so there's no software integration. You just plug and play, so it's very easy. There's no maintenance. It's very important that you understand as well this is fully bootable, so I can put a valid operating system on this and boot from it. So that means you can clone your hard drive and just keep this in the office or at home as a backup in your safe or wherever. And if anybody steals it, it's fully bus powered, you see. So if anybody steals it, they have to disconnect it. To disconnect it, that means once you reconnect it, you need to put in your smart card and your PIN number.
Right. Now, I'm looking at the interfaces here. I see 2 Firewire 800 interfaces. So that means that you can sort of daisy chain devices through this for your Firewire bus. What happens if you connect a device to one of the Firewire 800 ports here, then, I'm sorry, your computer, and then another device in a daisy chain fashion? Does the security on this, the fact that you're sort of locking it down, does it prevent the downstream device from being accessed? It's
a very valid question. You can daisy chain this one, but we're going to have also a device where you can't daisy chain it. So you can it will only have one Firewire 800 connector. So that means if it's connected and it goes into sleep mode, a user will have to press in their PIN number to reactivate it. So if somebody comes along and just plugs in an external hard drive to copy the data off, they won't be able to do so.
But if I have a downstream device that's not a hard drive, when I secure this device, when it's in secure mode, are the downstream devices on the Firewire bus also secure, or is it just securing
No,
this drive?
just this drive.
Just this drive.
It will not copy across to any other devices you hook up to it.
And we can't see it working, but does the pad, the keypad
it all
light
lights
up?
Yes, it all lights up.
It tells you what's kind of,
It's actually an updated version from what we've been working on for 5 years, and it's got a lot of improvements to it, and it's fully ruggedized, and there's no screws, so the thing locks itself in.
Can't get the drive out of it either. It's pretty well secured. And is there a software side to this that sort of tells you what's going on? You've unlocked the drive. How do you know when maybe you put the wrong...
Because the PIN number, it will actually tell you when it's in the green mode, it's operational, and it's ready to go.
Okay.
It comes up with warning lights.
So the indicators are telling you.
If somebody tries to brute force it, that's like the terminology that professionals like to use. That means if someone tries to crack this, if they do 8 attempts, it will lock them out. So then you need a new card or your backup card, and you insert that with the correct PIN number, then you can access the data.
I see.
So if someone does steal it and tries to brute force attack it, it will actually lock them out.
Are there different, when you set up different PIN numbers, is one PIN number matched to the card, or is it matched to the drive?
It matches the card.
Matches the card.
Yes.
So that's why you were just saying, if let's say you exceed the number of attempts, you got to get the other card with its PIN number to make it work.
This card will have to be thrown away. You cannot reactivate it.
Okay, great. Well, Anthony Rink, Director of Sales for Rocstor, thanks very much for joining us here at CES.
Thanks, David. Thank you. Thanks very much.
I'm David Berlin. Thanks for joining us at CES 2012 in Las Vegas.